I remember always praying that God, I just want to do what you want me to do. Like I've literally had this mindset, and this was when I think I was 16. So I would just be praying to God. And I remember like I would take walks in the evening after my classes, that God, I don't want to struggle in this life. Just tell me what to do.
I'm just going to ask you, because you just turned 22, right? You just celebrated your birthday. You just turned 22. Yes. Happy birthday. I actually said happy birthday. And for those that don't really know, of course, I'm going to, they would have heard your introduction before now, but you are just amazing, doing a lot. Imagine being 22 and you have gone to school, not just any school, you're a Harvard grad, you are married. Aramide, you're married. You have a book, you're an author, you literally have a school that you started when you were a teenager. Like in any space, in any country in the world, I don't think you're the average 22-year-old. Anywhere in the world, I really don't think so. So, and that's why I really want to ask you, and for you to, if you can be able to share, like, what are the things that really made you into this woman at such a young age? There's so many. I know what I was doing when I was 22. I was not, like, there's so many young people that don't really understand it until after a while. So how did you come to this point?
That's here.
If there are like 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you would say, okay, this is it that made you into this person at such a young age, please tell us.
So if I got your question correctly, I should talk about like things that have helped me to get to where I am and like be all I am right now.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just like to say that I wouldn't really say I've always been like this.
Okay.
But I had an ambitious mom, and I always wanted to do something remarkable in my life. Like I knew that I didn't want to live an average mediocre life, just have a good home, have a car, have a good job, and just die, give birth, send your children to school. I didn't want that. I didn't want to live a mediocre life. And so I started to say, so at that point, I've always had that mindset, literally. Okay. So when I got to uni, I got to 200 level. Okay. Yeah, so it wasn't, I gave my life to Christ in 100 level, but it was in 200 level I really started to, follow through and all of that with my relationship with God, growing spiritually and all of that. And so I would like to, there's no way I can talk about getting to this point without talking about how the fact that Jesus or God is at the center of my life. Yeah. So when I got to 200 level, I was just this young girl. I knew I didn't want to live, and I didn't want to live a mediocre life. Yes. But I feel like at that point, mediocrity would have been like, I didn't want to struggle. So if I'd gotten like internships or an international job or a scholarship, it would have been a quick fix, because the mindset was not to be purposeful or to be fulfilled. I just didn't want to struggle. So if I'd gotten a great job in a bank, it would have been a great fix for me. So at that time, I remember always praying that God, I just want to do what you want me to do. Like I've literally had this mindset, and this was when I think I was 16. So I would just be praying to God, and I remember like I would take walks in the evening after my classes, that God, I don't want to struggle in this life. Just tell me what to do. And the good part is that I went to a private school. Yeah. And I went to Coventry University. So the private school is a God-driven school, like a missionary kind of school. Yeah. So everybody like talked about purpose. So left and right is God. So it's not like that. It's not like that was where I really got closer to God. So I'm just like, okay, God, let me know what to do. I will do it. I don't have ambition. Wow. I don't have ambition. Just let me know what to do. And when I got to 300 level, like people were saying purpose, talking about purpose, and I'm like, what's this purpose thing? I want to know my purpose. It was like it was like almost a competition because everybody around you, I know my person. I don't know, maybe they are saying the truth or maybe they are bragging or maybe I don't know. But all I know is that people were talking about purpose. It was
and you wanted yours.
And I'm like, what's this purpose? Like, what is all this? Me that I've come here to generally study economics. Like, when I've done my economics, let me just get a good job and know that I'm making my parents proud, and that's all. And somebody's talking about purpose. And so I'm like, okay, let's see. And Bishop Davido is the chancellor of the school, and it definitely living a life of purpose. So he talked about it. He had books on it. So like they were always talking about it. We had leadership classes we did. Always talk about like there was all kind of thing and all of that. So when the purpose of the thing is not known, we had TMC classes where they always talk about purpose. And like, okay, God, I'm here. Like, let's do this thing. Let's know this purpose.
Yes.
And I remember we had like a show program, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take out this 21 days prayer and fasting. They always do that in winners. So I said I'm going to take it out and I'm going to actually pray and ask, like, this is my concentration. I'm not asking you for a 5.0 result. I'm not asking for anything. Just tell me, why am I here? I don't want to live a life that doesn't make any sense. I don't want to live a life that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't want to live a life where I don't feel like I'm sitting in my deathbed and I'm feeling so much regret.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. So I didn't want to do anything. And another thing was that even though my mom was a banker and she made money and we traveled and all of that, I hated the fact that she was so busy that she was so busy, right? She was so busy that she wasn't really, we didn't really build relationship with her and all of that.
Wow.
So she was a bank, she had money, literally. So I could literally say that, oh, you can have money and your life doesn't add up like that. Yeah. So I didn't want to miss any aspect of my life. And I know that as long as I'm in God's purpose for my life, I will never be a terrible mom. I will never be a terrible mother. I will never be a terrible wife.
Yes.
I won't miss out on any area. Once I am at the center of God's will for my life, everything will connect. Yes. Because that's where God wants me to be at that time. So I'm like, God, just tell me what you want me to do. So I'll say the first thing is like, God, I can't talk about my story without God. And at that time, God asked me to teach. I heard it loud and clear. Teach. I heard it. Immediately he asked me to
in that fasting, like during that fasting.
In that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, in that fasting. So it's not like I got a roadmap that so now start taking tutorials. After you take tutorials, get an opportunity, you go to Harvard. I didn't get all that, right?
Okay.
I just heard
teach.
And do you know that even till now, which is like 5 years after that 2016 that God told me to teach, God is still unraveling what it means to teach. So immediately I finished, I got I usually used to take tutorials. So it's not like teaching was a new thing to me, right? It was something I used to do, but I wasn't intentional. I just like to share what I knew with other people. So I used to take tutorials and all of that. But after that time, the registrar of the school called me to teach, like literally, like the registrar of the school called me out of the 10,000 students coming to university. He called. And so it gave me a teaching gig with students that had failed. And, it just, after I worked with them for 3 months, then we had students that were getting like D grades and some of them were even repeating. But after I'd got them for that 3 months, their lowest grade was a C. So that was when I knew that
there's something here. Oh my God.
There's something here for me.
This is like people of your age, like your fellow students, you are teaching them.
Exactly, yes. Wow. And there were even some of them that they were a bit higher than me, but because they had failed some courses in
they had to be taught. Okay.
So I was teaching them, they paid me though. So I was teaching them, and the results, the impact was so good. And I'm like, wow, this is actually good. So after then, I kept teaching my classmates tutorials, and I kept like tutorials and all of that. I was good. People wanted to study with me, like they'll read with me, and literally they will just pass. Like they read with me and then they will have good results. Like people used to want to be in my study group. I used to hold tutorials for people and all of that. And so after that time, I kept the tutorial thing until I got to 400 level.
Okay.
And then when I got to 400 level, I started to read about education. So when God asked me to teach, immediately after that, I started reading about education and all of that.
Okay.
So it starts with God. God would let you know what to do.